Hi, and welcome to Charm and Cheer with Piper. Today, in this video, we're going to talk about your event itinerary. So we're working from my Event Essentials workbook that I've had published that will help you plan your event from start to finish and all the details that you need in between to make it the most successful event, helping you make order out of chaos. Okay, so we're going to talk about your itinerary. All right. So what is an itinerary? Well, it is exactly that. We're going to start at the very beginning of the day and we're going to end at the very, very end. And what are the things that go between? So when putting together your itinerary, you need to have kind of a full idea of what it is that you're doing for your event. Now, this can be changed and rearranged. Now, just because you make an itinerary does not mean you need to stick to it. What's really important is that you have a plan of an order that you would like things to go. You may not stick to it, but that way nothing gets forgotten. Okay? Now, 90% of the time we don't stick to the itinerary minute to minute, but we do stick and make sure all the items are done. Okay? They may be out of order, they may be backwards. Read the room. See what the people are like and what they want. And that's what makes an event successful. If you're not supposed to cut the cake for another hour and everyone's leaving, I cut the cake. So when you start your itinerary, you have two categories. You have the time and the activity. So in the time column, you're going to start with time of arrival on venue, right? So that's the activity. I'm arriving at 9 a.m., okay? And we're arriving at the venue. Okay, now you need to allow yourself 30 minutes to unload and get organized. So at this point, you have already put into place many of the other suggestions that I have hopefully given you. I'm going to go over them again. To me, the most successful events go like this. I have a team of people who are helping me, whether it is at my home or at a venue or my best friend's house. I have 1 to 3 plus people helping me. They know everything. We've gotten together. They've helped me do some of the projects. They know exactly what's going on. I have shared all the details with them so that I'm not the only one who knows everything. And then I have a book with all the details in it. So if I don't remember exactly where I envisioned that thing going, I've written it down. So me and my team arrive, but before we arrive, at home, we've loaded cars, whether everything fits in my car, which it rarely does, and I've enlisted other people's cars as well. Every car is given all the items they need for that thing in case something happens. So in my car, I would have all of the food. To me, that's the most important thing. Who cares about decorations if you can't feed your people? Because then you've already spent all this money on the food, right? If you're doing the food yourself or a part of the food yourself, then no, I don't trust the food to anyone but myself. Then in another car, I have all the decoration items. And if there's still room, I'll put in another category, but everything's the same category. So then in a different vehicle, if I needed it, it would be all the additional things that didn't fit. So I would have all the food and beverage in my car. Then I would have all the decorations and centerpieces and favors in someone else's car. And maybe all the flowers in someone else's car if we're doing them ourselves. See what I mean? So everything is boxed up according to category for ease of your event. So when you're sitting down and putting everything together and packing everything up, nothing goes in the decorating box that isn't for decorating. Nothing goes in the centerpiece box that isn't for centerpieces. Nothing goes in the beverage box that isn't for beverages. And so on. This way, you have a complete details of everything, and when you unload it from the car, right, from 9 to 9:30 is unloading and organizing. So when you unload it from your car, you are then putting it where it's going to go. So the food would go in the kitchen and the beverages would go in the kitchen. It would all go straight to the kitchen, no stops in between. Save your steps. If you know where it's going, you need to put it where it's going. All the decorations need to go into one corner of the room. All the centerpiece items need to go in a different corner. Don't mix the two. Wherever you're putting the cake and whatever, all the different items, keep them separated so that you know that that team member who is helping you put everything together knows all the centerpiece items are right there. All the decorating items are right there. The food and beverages are already in the kitchen. Everything. So all the cups, the dispensers, all the items that you would need for food and beverages are already in the kitchen. Now, if there's no kitchen, you have an area set aside specifically for where all the food and beverages are going. And it's on or at the tables that you are going to set up or have already been pre-set up. Does that make sense? I hope it does, because it really makes a difference when you're unloading and saving time in your itinerary, so that you can stay on track. Now that you have everything set up and you've given yourself time for decorating and putting everything where it needs to go, you and your team then decide beforehand how long that's going to take, and then always give yourself an extra hour. So from 9 to noon is decorating and setting up, and then breathing, and hopefully then getting some lunch before you get ready to start your event at 1 o'clock. That's just an example. So you have your guests arrive, and you're not going to have any of your activities begin until 1:45. No one is ever on time. So they can have snacks and food and drinks and all of that. But any of the planned activities, unless it's a free flowing activity, like if you're doing outdoor items and things. And then you begin your activities 45 minutes after your start time. This is just a strong recommendation from my 30 years of experience. So at 1:45, you begin your activity, whatever that first thing is, whatever that needs to be for you. And it always starts with a very gracious welcome and thank you from the host. That's you. You need to make sure you thank your guests for coming, and gather everyone's attention. Okay? Then you do your activities in order of whatever they are, whether it is whatever, depending on what your event is. Giving instructions and safety guidelines, if there are any. Letting them know where the bathrooms are. Very important. If they haven't figured out in the first 45 minutes where the restrooms are, please let people know. If you have specific activities you want people to do, give them the instructions then. And that's it. Enjoy your event. Now, it's 5 o'clock. Everyone's been there since 1. And whoever's left, so say your party goes from 1 to 3. So by 4 o'clock, so 5 was a little late. So 4 o'clock, right? People have gone and you are recovering, not everyone leaves on time. It depends on the kind of event you're doing. People like to hang around. Whoever's left gets to help clean up. Plus, you already have designated a cleanup team. Now, I do strongly recommend that they are different people than the setup team. The setup team can help, but if you have to put tables and chairs away, you need totally different people because those people have been there since 9 a.m. and they're exhausted. So give them a break. Have a different setup team. Now, that's the bonus of making sure you clean up like the party's over at 3 and you need to be out of there really, really quickly. You start at 3:05. Okay. Anyway, you clean up depending on when you need to be out, right? Clean up pretty quickly after the event time is up. Start really aggressively picking things up. Folding up chairs is a big indicator of the party's over. Taking tablecloths off is up to your discretion. Read the room. If you still have a ton of guests left and you have no exit, wait. Make it fun. Enjoy the time. But if you're under a time limit, really be aggressive about the cleanup and say, hey, you guys, we really need to be out of here in an hour and a half. I really need to clean everything up. Can you help me? Everyone wants to help. So ask them to help, especially if you have some teenagers around. Boss those guys around. They'll do it for you. And then make sure your exit on time, if not early. Do not go over your time for your venue. It's not fair to the staff who have been waiting to put everything away. Now, if you want your full deposit back from your venue, you need to make sure that you have your cleanup crew know exactly what it is the venue needs back in place. So that is the worksheet itinerary, and I really hope that helps you run your day of event smooth, and it's never going to be chaos free, but maybe a little smoother for you. And never be surprised when things don't go your way. That's just the nature of events. That's what makes it fun, and fun stories to tell in the future. Thank you so much for watching, and have a blessed day.